Hello everybody, my name is Christian, and today, this is something I've been meaning to do like on stream for a while now, and I never really got around to it on stream, so we're just gonna knock it out now, because I need content either way. So, today, this is the Honkai Star Rail character sorter. This has every character in the game, and it is essentially just a different way to do a tier list of your personal favorite characters. Because it will essentially always throw up two characters to verse each other, and you will constantly be picking which character you like more. At the end, you get a completed list of your characters from favorite to least favorite. Instead of making an entire tier list video of all my favorites, which I was trying to do for months, it was rough. I've decided I think this will be more fun, and also it gives a nice graphic for everybody to look at, so I think that's a lot more fun. I might increase the size on this real quick, actually. Alright, so we are going to be going through every character in the game today, so all playable characters. The upcoming characters right now are Maide and Tribi. Actually, I finished the Amphoria story. I actually probably can't include them. Yeah, okay, this is good. Okay, we are going to get into it, so you might see the size fluctuate again. I'm going to see how big this is, and then we'll go from there to make it a more pleasurable viewing experience. Okay, I'm making this bigger. Okay, is that better? I feel like that's better. So, I've actually done this before a very long time ago. There are a lot more characters now, so this is going to take a hot minute. Whenever a character first appears, I'll probably try and give my thoughts at least a little bit, just to kind of, build up to the grand reveal at the end, so you guys can kind of piece together who you think I like more, because I'm going to cut out some of them, more than likely, but we'll go from there. So we'll start with Stell versus March. Okay, so I stated this before multiple times. I like the MC a lot. The main characters are awesome. The problem is, though, is that they are also essentially a blank canvas for you, the player. And they do have personality, which is being obsessed with trash for some reason. Crazy concept. I don't know. It's like, I like the characters a lot, but I simply just don't think they have the overall personality to get super, super high on the list. When I feel like March has a really good personality. She's really funny. I specifically like using the Hunt in combat. The Hunt version is awesome and has been on my Face Out team ever since I got her. And yeah, it's a hard comparison to make, especially since it is a main character. But I'm leaning March on this one. Okay, yeah, this one's just unfortunate. Himiko versus Dan Heng. I love both of these characters a lot. However, Himiko, I just love her so much. She's so cool. And I've started using her for Super Break as well, and she's so good, dude. Asta versus Welt. Asta is also a very good character. I do like her quite a bit. She's kind of fallen off of every update, basically, like at least 1 or 2 slots on my mental list. Whereas Welt is just such a cool character, and now that I have more respect for Honkai Impact 3rd, he's only gone up the list into like the top 10-ish range. He's just such an awesome character. I wish he did more in this game. They don't give him an opportunity to do anything in this game, and it sucks. But he as a character is awesome. I love his powers. If only he was a bit better. I wish he was a better unit, but we can work with that. We can work with that. Bronya versus Arl. I've called Arlen a beta male since I met him. Bronya. Serval versus Japard. So I like Japard just fine. The thing is, though, is that for people who have been around the channel for a very long time, I did a video with Shy where I had an epiphany that Serval is like the most perfect wife ever on paper. And ever since then, she's been very high in my personal rankings, and yeah, that's never changing. She's awesome. Natasha versus Pela. I like both these characters. I don't really care too much about either of them, and I don't use either of them a lot. I like Natasha. She's nice to children, and she's a doctor. That's cool. That's it. Clara, I hate Hook. People always get on me on that, but like Hook's just annoys me. I don't know what to tell you. I've never, okay, to be fair, I have not done Hook's companion quest. So maybe that makes her a bit better. I'm pretty sure I've seen it though. Like I've at least seen a good part of Hook's story, it didn't really change anything. Hook is still very mid. Xing Shui versus Yan Qing. Okay, Yan Qing, ever since the 2.5 story, he's a lot better. I like him a little bit more. Xing Shui is just funny, man. She's just so goofy. It's hard to argue against her. Like, she's literally just a chronic gambler. But even then, she's got like the colon 3 face. Like, that's awesome. It's just, she can't do any wrong. Bailu versus Su Shang. Bailu's okay. And Su Shang's cute. That's it. Jingyuan. Luocha versus Silverwolf is interesting, because I don't like Luocha at all. However, I also really could not care less about Silverwolf. She kind of just exists. I don't really use her, because I didn't play the game when she was really, really dominating. I have Silverwolf. I don't really use her, though, so that's a bit problematic. We're gonna go Silverwolf just because, again, I just really don't like Luocha. Yukong. I'm just saying, guys, Foxian Supremacy, that always works. Foxian Supremacy is very important. Kafka versus Luca. Kafka is just such a cool character. Like, and also I used her for over 100 hours of gameplay probably. So I love Kafka. Fushuan and Lynx. I just like Lynx's personality more. I use Fushuan daily, but Lynx's personality is just like, she's just a little explorer. She does all the cool stuff, Doesn't like being treated like a kid, which is fair, because god damn it, you're part. I know you're concerned, but get it together, man. Lynx is just nice. I like Lynx. Okay, yeah, so Gwenaifen. I really like Topaz. I want to clarify. I really like Topaz, but Gwenaifen. I think Fire has one of the best cast of characters for me, personally. I absolutely love most of the Fire characters, except Hook. We already talked about Hook. Fire just has so many good ones, and I can't explain to you why I like Gwenaifen so much, because she has the sort of Zoomer personality that I don't usually like in characters, because it reminds me too much of my real life, since I am, in fact, Gen Z. The thing is, though, is that I don't know why, it's just so endearing for Gwenaifen. I love her voice, I love how she acts, her whole appearance is awesome. She looks very pretty, and then more importantly, the Deeting dogs. Those being a central part of her kit are awesome. I don't know, it just all comes together so perfectly to just make this perfect mesh of a character. I really couldn't care less about Argenti. I don't know, I just don't like his vibes, I gotta be honest. Also, Huohuo is at least funny. Ronmei and Hanya, I really like Ronmei. Also, she brought my wife back to life, so it's a pretty easy answer there. I don't like Ratio. That's the only reason I'm picking again. That's the main reason I'm picking Joy, is just I don't like Ratio. And same thing for Sparkle, so Black Swan. I also love Black Swan. Okay, I've stated before in videos and in my Discord and everywhere, I love Acheron. She has one of my favorite stories in the game, and she's just such a cool character. Yeah, Acheron's gonna be very high at the end of this list. I just want you all to know that. Acheron will be high at the end of this list. Gallagher versus Avenge. I love Gallagher so much. Gallagher's so cool. Okay, Robin versus Boot Hill is an argument. What I like about Boot Hill is he's just so goofy without really meaning to be goofy, because he is one of the most threatening characters in this game, and he has no fear with what he does. And then the thing is, though, is that Robin is just girly pop icon. It's hard, like, what do you say against that? She's perfect. Then what do you do? I really like Boot Hill, but I'm gonna go Robin. Firefly and Jade. I love Jade's voice actress. Jade scares me. Firefly. Jiaoqiu and Yunli. I just don't like Yunli. Also, Jiaoqiu's got a cool design. I love his vibe. I've recently started using Ling Xia. I love Ling Xia. She is awesome. Foxy and Tax. I don't know what to tell you guys. Okay, Rappa and Moz is hard. I have finally finished Rappa's story, and Rappa's had a hard life. But Moz is just so cool. I don't particularly super like either of them, and I don't use either of them in combat. I'm gonna lean towards Moz. I just really like his vibes. Fugue. Easy fugue. This one's gonna be a Glaya. Okay, so now that I finished Amphorius, I'm gonna talk about this in this video specifically. What's up with the Aglaya hate? Like, I haven't done every single quest. Let's get that straight. I haven't done every single quest. But it feels like people were already ragging on Aglaya immediately upon meeting her, when all of her actions are mostly rooted in pure logic and a willingness to protect her people. I don't know. Like, I really like Aglaya so far. She's been great. I'm really excited to build her as well. Also, God, she's pretty. But I don't know. I just don't, like, I want to know what the overall rationale is for why people don't like her that much already. I feel like she has the opportunity to get way worse later into the game, or later into the Amphorius story, but right now, I just don't really get it personally. Anyway, the Herta's, like, I really like the Herta, but also it's still Herta at the end of the day who's a bit pretentious, so Aglaya. Okay, Mighty versus Tribby. Mighty versus Tribby is hard. I really like Tribby. Like, Tribby's nice. She's sweet, and then she does a lot of cool stuff to help us. And Mighty's kind of an asshole sometimes. Also, it's weird that his name's Mighty. Mighty's just... I don't know. There's just something about him where it's like, I really like his fighting spirit. There's just something about him that just makes me respect him more. And for that, he's going over Tribby. Okay, so now we got the battle of Honkai Impact characters, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, the hot woman is really leaning out over, well, because it's not like either of them have super developed stories currently in Star Rail. So yeah, I'm just leading him a go. Okay, this one is once again an argument, because Dan Heng has probably one of the best stories in Star Rail, and I really like Dan Heng a lot. But dude, well, it's just so cool. Serval versus Bronya. Once again, I'm going Serval, just because I love her so much. Bronya versus Gepard. I feel really inclined to go Bronya. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go Bronya. Gepard. Like, Clara's just the cutest little bean. Like, she does nothing wrong. She just wants to be helpful. And Natasha is just literally probably a god amongst those people in the underworld. And Natasha's also the sweetest thing ever. This is hard. Oh, God. This is like the same character, but just one of them is just a nice, innocent child with a robot. And one of them is an older doctor who has seen some shit, but is still persevering. This is not the choice I expected to be so hard. I am going to go... Yeah, you know what? We'll have at least one child in the top 20. Alright, Clara. Oh, okay, yep, nope. Bela over Hook as well. So again, I like Sushong a lot. Jing Yuan is so cool. There's just no winning. Sushong versus Seela, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Over time, I've just come to dislike Seela a little bit more. And it's crazy to say that, because I still like the character. But, have you seen Seela's outfit? Like, have you really stopped and taken a look at Seela's outfit? It makes me want to commit crimes. It is the worst thing I think I've ever seen in my life. And for that, Sushong. Yeah, this one's pretty easy. Not only Foxy attacks, but also Yukong's story is incredible, and Silverwolf kind of just exists. And I don't care about Blade, so Silverwolf. Fu Xuan versus Luca. Okay, so this is probably a good time to talk about both of these. Fu Xuan, she's fine. I'm not really a fan of her personality. I get why she's the way she is. She feels very uptight, but also she has a very important job to do. And she's constantly trying to show that she is capable of leading the Luofu into the next generation. So Fu Xuan has a hard life, and she tries to handle it very well. And she is at least, like, she's not a bad person by any means. She does nice things. But again, I'm just not too keen on her. Luca feels like the most nothing character ever, until you play the War Dance. And then Luca's sick. Why did it take until 2.5 to get any form of real interesting story for Luca? Like, yes, I know he has his companion mission, hop off. Between these two, I think I am actually going to lean Luca just because the War Dance story really painted him in such an amazing light. Guinaifen and Jingliu, I love both of these people. I also really love Amelie. Guinaifen, though. Okay, Topaz versus Jingliu is an argument. Whenever I see these characters, I almost instantly think of their voice actors, because I really, really like Sam Slade, and I really like Amelie. And I know that I've known them before they voiced these characters as well. Because also, I think she just got into Fire Emblem Heroes as well. Or she just won, like, the Choose Your Legends event, for anybody who knows what that is. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I think that was it. And I just love Fire Emblem, so. Between actual Topaz and Jingliu, I just love Topaz. She has such a fun personality, and it's like, I love Numby. If I had Topaz as the character, I would love playing her. Or what is it? Insert Timmy's dad going, if I had one!
This is where I'd put a trophy. If I had one!
I think, I just feel a little biased because it's been so long since we've seen Jingliu, whereas we get to see Topaz at least somewhat often. I think I'm leaning towards Topaz. Ronmei versus Huohuo. Again, I really like Huohuo, and Tail is super funny. But Ronmei, she's just so quirky, guys. She's just so quirky. Huohuo versus Hanya. I do quite like Hanya. Also, she's just really pretty. Problem is, she doesn't really got a lot going on in general. And Huohuo is funny. Okay, so this one kind of sucks. Dr. Ratio versus Sparkle. I don't like either of them. I don't want to use the tie feature either. Dr. Ratio or Sparkle. This is awful. This is genuinely awful. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Ratio. At least he's been helpful. Acheron versus Gallagher. This was probably like my two favorite parts of the Pentacony story. I mean, probably Firefly as well. So in some relative order, that was the top three. Yeah, still leaning Acheron. Okay, so I don't love either of these. I will say I kind of eased up on Aventurine. He's not really that bad. I was just very harsh in the past. But also, Misha's just so sweet. Misha's just vibing. Unfortunately, Misha's also dead, so there's not really any more chance for development, and Aventurine already got more information. Like, Aventurine already got even more, like, depth to him, so that kind of sucks for Misha. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean Misha. Getting to talk to Mickey Mouse is awesome.
What?
Firefly and Robin, yeah, it's Firefly. I just love her so much. Okay, and I see this one's an argument. I'm probably leaning Ling Sha immediately. I do really like Jiao Cho. The problem is I've never thought about where Jiao Cho would go. I don't know how much this is a thing for you guys as well, but if I have a character and I use them, I'm more likely to like them more because I just automatically associate that in my head. I'm assuming that's most people, and if not, y'all weird, but I've been using Ling Sha a lot. She's been super, super fun. And I did really want Jiao Cho, but I just could not get him because I knew Fei Xiao was coming out. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean Ling Sha on this one. Fugue him up. Fugue. So, in the past, this is a good time to insert this. In the past, we all know I've been a notorious Sunday hater. I have now done the 2.7 story. I would like to clarify, I still am not a fan of Sunday. However, he is a bit better in my eyes now. He had a very good journey and story, and that story itself was very beautiful in how he interacted with the world around him, including Robin, like during their ending scene, and just even down to the symbolism of at the ending when he finally got his halo back. There was just a lot to take in. Very good story. I wish there was more Fugue, but oh well. Very good story. I feel like he's on a better track, and he's already been proving himself to be a valuable member of the team as of Emphorius. And again, when compared to Moz, who doesn't really have nearly as much going on, I do like Moz's design more, but when there's not really a lot for him and his depth, it becomes a lot harder to decide on this than I thought. I think I am gonna lean Moa's just because of how much I like his whole presence and style. But Sunday will probably end up higher on this list than I thought. Yeah, like Sunday versus Rappa, I'm gonna be honest, it's Sunday. I really just can't. I can't with Rappa, man. Oh, poor Rappa. Rappa got the unfortunate life of just being stuck in probably the worst continuance of all time. I've already talked about this extensively in my Discord, but Rappa's story is so good. The problem is, by the time you get to the truth of Rappa's story, I was so mentally checked out and sick of that quest that I just could not really appreciate it. And yeah, that might be a problem for me, but from what I've seen, I'm not alone. The monkey continuance was really not popular for a lot of people I know. I just couldn't stand it, and I feel so bad for Rappa, because that's such a good character, minimized into just a part of this silly-ass continuance. Anyway, Aglaya. Well versus March, once again, very close actually, because I love March a lot, but he's just so cool. Pela over Arlen. Pela likes fanfiction, and that's based. Hook versus Arlen! Oh, man, this sucks. This is horrid. We are probably going to go Arlen here. Because, yeah, I just really don't like kids in most cases. You wouldn't think that this would be a hard choice. This is surprisingly difficult. When I tell you that Yukong has just one of my favorite stories in this game, to the point that I've made a video about it, and I have a script prepared for Yukong as well that's going to be coming out at some point, the analysis of her character is just so much to take in. And when I was writing the script and really going through Yukong's story, I really started to, like, feel it. It's just a hard life that has a lot of themes that persist into real life as well. And then Kafka's just an awesome character. She's obviously she's very popular, but she is very cool. She has an awesome kind of theme to her. Kafka is just such a unique character and has such a cool theme to her, and it's like she does keep popping up, which gives her a bit more relevance and allows her to keep building off of things. And more importantly, she has a very nice relationship with your character, which is just, it makes it feel a bit more personable when she is a character who you don't get to see often, but it feels like the experience kind of matters more. And again, I use Kafka a lot, so that always gives bonus points. Guys. I think I'm gonna give the nod to Kafka this time. People are probably gonna call me crazy for this one, but yeah, I'm taking Lynx. I'm gonna be honest. Again, I just don't really care about Silverwolf. Ronmei versus Gwenhyphen. Again, like these characters a lot. In my mental list, they were both around, like, Ronmei is definitely around top 15, maybe top 10. But also, Gwenhyphen is, like, probably a top 5 for me. So, we're gonna say Gwenhyphen's up higher. Ronmei versus Jingliu. We're probably gonna say Ronmei on this one. Jingliu will get her time to shine. Okay, Jingliu gets her time to shine. Another battle of the mid here. I think Jui is actually vastly underrated? Underrated. I think Jui is very underrated. She doesn't really get the same... I feel like she doesn't have, like, a lot of fans, especially as a 4-star. Because there are some people who just love some of the 4-stars. Jui doesn't get a lot of that. Amisha's great, but I think I am going to give a bit more credit to Jui. Fei Xiao versus Firefly is hard. These are, like, my two best teams. I love both of these characters. I use them all the time. We are going to go with Fei Xiao, Foxy, and Tax. Lingsha versus Firefly. That's pretty easily going to Firefly. Her whole story and her whole thing is just a bit better. Also, ever since the Amphorius moment, that definitely got her up again in my mind. Like, that made her stand out again, so definitely Firefly. Oh, these are both really good characters in both gameplay and just in every other aspect. I'm gonna go Robin for now. Do I really need to leave this part in? The Herta versus Moze. They're both a bit more nothing. She's gotten a bit of time to shine. She's also really good, and she has brain rot names for her skills, which is kind of funny, so... yeah, this one's hard, but... Dan Heng just has such a better story. You get to see him more often. It's like, he's just such a good, complete character. But Serval... you know what? We are gonna have Serval win this. So Kafka versus Jing Yuan, the Alejandro Saab buff is just too strong. He's such a good character. Jing Yuan is just such a phenomenal character. Kafka versus Sushong, this is pretty easily going to Kafka. Foxian, Tax. Lynx versus Sushong, I'm gonna go Sushong. I will say, Sushong's really started getting a buff just because every time we go to the Luofu, for some reason, her, Guanifin, and Wool have to show up at some point. And I love that group dynamic so much. That little group dynamic has to be one of the best things they've implemented into the side stories, because it feels so much just like an organic group that just completely formed, like it formed in the story out of necessity, but then it feels like it formed just organically. Like, the friendship in that group is actually there. And it's just a welcome part of that, of whenever you go back to that planet. Just because it feels like, you know, you're coming back from, like, a long trip or, like, college or something, and you got a group of friends waiting for you. They hang out again. It's just a very nice touch that they've done with that. I feel like this is blasphemy if I put Zila below Lynx, but I'm really considering it. I feel like I've been a bit too harsh on Zila today. And I see this is what the whole war dance was about. It was great. And again, both these guys really improved a lot during the 2.4, 2.5 thing, so... this one's hard, but I think I'm leaning more towards... I think I'm leaning a bit more towards Yanqing. This one feels like blasphemy if I do it. Sue me, I know what I'm about. Topaz versus Acheron, yeah, again, love Topaz. That one's a bit of a reach. Okay, now you see, this is where we get to... this one's hard for me. In the past, it was very easily Black Swan. But again, I started liking Topaz more and more over the year. I think Black Swan still gets it. She's just such a fun character to play as. I love her whole vibe, her whole aura. And the character itself is just shrouded in such mystery, while also still being very... I don't know how I want to phrase this. Like, there's no good way to phrase it. She's just such a mysterious character, while also not really trying to throw you off constantly or conceal things from you. Like, she is still just a nice person. Guys, we're only at 60% completion, and I think it's been 50 minutes. Yep, 50-20 on the dot. Awesome! I'm hoping this will finally get along faster. So, Misha and Argenti, you know what, actually, cut through all the irrelevant characters that people have already seen I don't like. We're just gonna do that. Fei Xiao and Fugue, yeah. Sorry, Fei Xiao. Aglaya versus Fei Xiao is an argument. I think Aglaya needs to be... I think I need to see a bit more from her, and I need to actually get to use her more in combat so I can start to really appreciate her more. So right now, Fei Xiao. Aglaya versus Firefly is the same thing. Very difficult. I think... I'm still going to give it to Firefly for now. Aglaya versus Rob, I'm going to be honest. I think Aglaya might actually have this one. Oh, shit. I clicked too fast. I think I might be getting... I'm getting a little bit of recency bias. I'm going to say Jiao Chou. Moz versus Yunli, easy. Sunday versus Yunli, still crazy, but I'll give it to Sunday. Yeah, Welt over Jing Yuan. March is also over Jing Yuan. This one's crazy. Serval's over Jing Yuan. Dan Heng is also over Jing Yuan. And Jing Yuan is over Clara. Alright, guys, we gotta leave the video now. Oh, and it's on 69% completion? Alright. The memes write itself, ladies and gentlemen. Do it, Star Rail. Give the people what they want. Give them the lesbian relationship. Do I like Yanqing more than I like Pela? Low-key, probably. Man, it's crazy what War Dance did for Luca's reputation. He's winning. Hook Bailu. What a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't even the mid-off. This is the shit-off. This is bad. Guanifin and Fugue. Again, there is a real world, but it's Fugue. Fei Xiao and Guanifan. I want to put Fei Xiao... I really want to put Fei Xiao higher, but people don't love Guanifan enough, and I'm gonna spread propaganda. Acheron and Fei Xiao is definitely a bit of recency bias again. Acheron's such a phenomenal character. Okay, Fei Xiao and Black Swan, I think we might have to have a talk. Yeah, I can't. I have to do Fei Xiao. Fei Xiao has to go higher. Firefly Black Swan? Oh, that one's an argument too, but I think I'm giving it to Firefly. Aglaya and Black Swan. It's funny, these characters almost have they have an almost similar aura about them. And it's obviously these two pictures are very different, but they emanate the same kind of vibes, you know what I'm saying? I think I am going to lean Black Swan. Yeah, we got to readjust because of the Herta, so Gallagher and Ron May. Actually, I do believe all of this, Jing Liu as well. The Herta versus Huohuo, the tail bonus. Okay, the Herta, I will have her over Hanya. Robin is also going to be over Hanya, Lingsha, Boot Hill, Jiao Cho. Mighty versus Hanya might be an argument. I'm going to say Mighty. I need to forget about the goddamn bananas. Rappa doesn't deserve this. But Misha is just, he doesn't do any, he's just a guy. I'm going to say Rappa. Fugue and Himiko. There we go. Once again, there was a world, but we're going to say Fugue. This one hurts as well. This is probably the only time where I feel like I could validate Guanifan over Himiko. Because Himiko's just going to keep getting, more and more known about her. And at some point, she might even get, another form or something. So, it's Himiko's just such a great character. I wish Guanifan just got a little bit more representation, because she just has such a unique and interesting story. We're going to say Himiko. Guanifan versus, yeah, I don't care anymore. Guanifan. Okay, this one is probably the hardest choice. I am going to give it to Acheron, though. You know, I really don't want to drop Welt out of my top 5, but this is... I need to do this. I'm going to give it to March. I think I still just like what her role is in the story and in the group dynamic with Dan Heng and the Trailblazer is just so perfect for her and makes me like her so much more. And Amphorius kind of took that away, which is so sad, but it doesn't diminish her as a character at all, so I'm still putting her high up. Serval versus Firefly. Am I about to do this? Yeah, okay. Serval. And here we go, Aglaya and Kafka. What another matchup! I think for right now it's going to be Kafka. I think by the next time I do this list, it will be Aglaya. Aglaya and Yukong. How far can the Foxian bias take you? I think it's going to be Aglaya this time. Jing Liu and Yukong. So this one is interesting. Because again, you don't get to see either of these anymore. I also feel like Jing Liu I feel like I've also been a bit harsh on Jing Liu when I really do like her character a lot. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to Jing Liu. Huohuo versus Yukong. What is this stupid matchup? Look at this. This is insane. Emanator of Erudition versus Gambler. Hanya over Zila. Hear me out here. Actually, no, that's not a joke. That is what I'm doing, actually. I like Jade's design and everything more, but I do think Yanqing is a better character. I just love the floppy hat. Yeah, we're gonna give it to Jade. Arlen and Argenti. You know what? Arlen takes care of Peppy. Dr. Ratio Hook. Hook. Luocha Dr. A. I'm gonna cry. This sucks. Okay, I just don't care about Luocha in the slightest, man. But Dr. Ratio annoys me. Sure, Ratio. Sparkle and Luocha. Sparkle and Sampo. There it is. And we are going to take... I hate both of them, actually. Actually, I don't even think it's a hate anymore. I don't think I really hate them, because I started to understand the whole Masked Wolf thing a bit more. But they just both annoy me. I think I'm still going Sparkle. Okay, and there we go. After an hour and 9 minutes, we have our completed list. Oh man, this is gonna take a hot minute. Hold on, guys, we're gonna shrink the screen again. 150% is good. Alright, so we got 6 in a row. So, in first place, to nobody's surprise, is Fugue. In second, Himiko. Third, Gwenhyphen. Fourth, Acheron. Fifth, Fei Xiao. And sixth, Welt. Then, to round out the top 10, we have March at 7th, Serval 8th, Firefly 9, and Dan Heng 10. I will go through the rest of the list in a minute, but just to talk about the top 10 here, since that's what most people care about. The top 3 of this list, and probably the top 4, the top 4 of this list have been the same for probably 6 months plus at this point. I love Ting-Yun, I love Himiko, and I don't know why Gwenhyphen has such a place in my heart, but I just absolutely love Gwenhyphen. She's such a just wonderful character. I absolutely love most of the things about her. And again, I wish she got more. That's all. As for probably the most interesting additions, Fei Xiao and Firefly have both made their way up to where I did not think they would really be. I like Firefly a lot, but when I thought about her, I thought there would be more characters ahead of her. But when you use a character like literally every day, and not to mention when a character has such a wonderful story and you get to still see them every once in a while to remind you of like how much you like them, because that's what kind of what Amphorius did when I got to see there was a little section with the Stellaron Hunters. It really makes you appreciate the character more again. And yeah, she just made her way up. Don't know what to say. Fei Xiao, on the other hand, yeah, when I was excited for Fei Xiao for the entire time she was coming out. I loved her in the story. I love her confidence. I love how she looks. I love her attitude. She's so unbelievably strong. And her story was so much fun to watch. It's so hard to argue. I can't argue anything. I just love Fei Xiao so much. Welt was in the top 5. He was in that 5 slot for a while, but Fei Xiao just kind of kicked him out. I really hope they do more with Welt. Because a lot of the reason why Welt is so high is because I really like his story that I learned of in Honkai Impact 3rd. Like, from my friends telling me doing a lot of reading, not actually playing the game, God bless, because it's hard to keep up. But Welt has such a unique story and such a cool story, and that's the reason why he's so high, is because he had really fun moments in this game, but not a lot of them, and a lot of it is piggybacking off of his reputation. I really hope he does more in this game, because I feel like at this point, Welt's kind of just going to keep slowly dropping over time. Because as much as I like him and I think he has some of the coolest powers visually in the game, and he has such a cool personality, other characters are still doing cool things. I'm liking them more in gameplay, and eventually, it's crazy that you're going to get power crept on a likability list, but still, I want Welt to do a bit more, so that it kind of shows everybody and shows me in my brain like he is that guy. He's still awesome. Dan Heng does get a lot of a boost purely because you see him in the story a lot, but his presence is just so vital. Not to mention his story is incredible, and he really does complete that trifecta of him, the Trailblazer, and March so well. It really makes me appreciate him a lot. Not to mention his voice actor, absolutely wonderful. Love that man. Has done incredible work with both the game and all the covers he makes, so gotta have Dan Heng at least high up. Alright, so looking at the rest of these, Black Swan, Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan is about where I would want him. I knew he was an easy top 20. Black Swan, she was in the top 10 at some point. 11 is still pretty good. Over Kafka, I don't quite know how that one happened internally in my head, but I am fine with it, because I love Black Swan so much. Topaz has only gone up over time. I don't even have the character. That's the crazy part. I just love Topaz so much. I love all the art she gets. Will Stetson made a song about her. I love seeing her in all the stories. Like, she constantly pops up on my Twitter feed, on YouTube videos. I love Topaz. Also Numby. Oh, cheers to Numby. So then, rounding out the rest of the top 20, we have Aglaya, Gallagher, Ron Mei, Jing Liu, Yukong, and Sushong. Yukong, easily one of the biggest risers ever, because I had never done her quest before this, or before like a few months back. Her quest is one of the most beautiful things in this game. Incredible. And it really made me appreciate her more as a character. Also, Foxians, so I love Foxians, there you go. I feel like Gallagher should have been higher in this list, but Pretty Women, kind of hard to argue with. That doesn't change the fact, though, that Gallagher, incredible. He is such a cool character. I love everything about him. His personality, his story, his gameplay. He is just such a good character. I love Gallagher so much. As for how Aglaya beat him, yeah, pretty privilege is real. I'm not going to deny it. But also, I think her character is phenomenal. I really like how she handles things. Her voice acting is fantastic. And just her whole demeanor, how she carries herself, is just so good. I don't know. Everything about her is just elegant, and it makes me like her so much more. This is a very good character. The problem is that I can genuinely see her going at some point down a worse path and end up not liking her as much, but right now, 15. Anyway, Ron Mei, Jing Liu, fun characters that I have used before. I still use Ron Mei to this day. I use Jing Liu a lot, but she got worse, unfortunately. Power creep. You woohoo! Both great characters. I also just find them attractive, so, you know, that's a big that's a big bonus on my list. But, nothing much to say about those two. Love their voice actors, especially Amelie, so we're gonna just start breezing through the rest of this list. In hindsight, I do actually think Lingsha probably should have been higher. I do think Lingsha probably should have ended up around this 21 range. Looking at all the characters around here, I do think Lingsha should have been up here. Also, Robin and Boot Hill, I do think should have been higher. I probably would have moved Asta down. I would have moved Asta down for sure. I would have had Lingsha. Yeah, after Sushong, I probably would have had Robin, then Lingsha, and then I probably would have moved Boot Hill in front of the Herda for sure. And probably Natasha, and then I would have moved Asta down for sure, probably in front of the Herda. So I feel like I kind of messed up with that, because these three characters are ones that I absolutely love, and I definitely feel like I messed up with that ranking a little bit. The Herda being the side, don't know what happened there. I really like her a lot. She's very pretty, and then she doesn't annoy me as much as the puppets did. So, you know, that goes together to make a better character. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she probably could have dropped a little bit at least. Xing Shui, I'm fine with this. Xing Shui's funny, man. I feel like I will like some weird 4 stars. But Bronya, yeah, Bronya she's okay. She's kind of dropped as well over time, but she's still a good character. Jade, again, I can only say it so many times. Jade scares me. Jade is up here purely because voice actor and attractive. That's really about it. Sunday could have been over Moe's, but I think this is still probably fine how I want it. Then the rest of this is pretty uninteresting. Aventurine at 49. He used to be much lower. He made his way up at least a little bit. And this is where you find most of the other men in the game. Sampo, Sparkle, Luocha, Dr. Ratio, Hook, Yunli, Fushuan, Blade, Argenti, Bailu, Arlen, and then Silverwolf. The bottom of this list is about how I would expect it to be. This, I feel like if you know me at all, this adds up, and I feel like knowing myself, this adds up, so honestly, this came out pretty good. Obviously, there are a few slots and stuff that I feel like I should have thought about harder. I would have switched at least a little bit, but overall, this is probably how I would describe my list as of right now. I'm happy that this kind of exists. This is a good way to do this. It was a lot of fun. And more importantly, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is probably going to end up being a pretty long video. I'm going to see how much of the dead time I can just cut out of me going through characters that nobody cares about or that I don't care about. So we'll see how that goes, but alright, I really hope you guys enjoyed. This was a very not quick video to do, but it was something I wanted to get out of the way for a while. It didn't take me that long, and hopefully it'll come out as a good viewing experience. So, I will see you guys in the next video, and yeah, bye-bye.